I'm James Zanewicz from Tulane Medicine here at the Bullpen during JPM week with Dr. Imanuel Lerman of InflammaSense.
Hi there. Yeah, nice to be here. This is awesome.
Welcome to the Bullpen. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Is it your first KOL interview with us?
It is.
Another first timer. I love this. All right, 3 easy questions. We make it painless.
Yeah.
The first thing that I want to ask you is to get to learn a little bit more about you so our community can. Tell me about your background and how you got where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm a neurologist trained in pain medicine. And so I essentially would see patients with the same injury, but huge differences in their pain report, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we found, and what's obvious, when you think about it, is that the molecular response to an injury or an infection, inflammation, is very different between individuals, right? So thus our company's name is InflammaSense, right? So we're sensing inflammation, and we do it very differently than, say, a molecular test. We're actually sensing it through the vagus nerve as it transmits these signals through your neck. So this real estate is patented, methods, use, and platform, and essentially we have a device that can record the neural signals that encode inflammation.
That is really incredible. So where did you come up with this?
So we started this work with a DARPA contract and then subsequently was funded by BARDA. And so we have $6.2 million in non-dilutional funding that has brought this work forward. And one of the use case that we're focused on, we have government contracts that are looking at infection-mediated inflammation, but we also have the use case for our specific race for today and moving forward for the company, for InflammaSense, is that inflammation is also directly related to mental health disorder, right? Mm-hmm. So it's directly proportional. We ran a marine resiliency study where we looked at veterans who at basic training, and then after they came back from war, and the ones who got PTSD and or depression were the ones who had this inflammation. And we could detect that by measuring these signals. So our use case is to essentially identify metrics of inflammation that exactly tell you where on the spectrum or the continuum someone may be in their mental health, and then get those patients into your trial, right? So we want to get the Goldilocks zone of identifying patients that are going to be responders. And if a patient is going to be severe, we don't necessarily need that patient to be in the trial because they're going to cost more money and you're not going to get to your endpoints as fast. So if we can do an ITT analysis early on in your trial, show you that we got you more responders than you ever would have had, you can stop the trial earlier and save millions of dollars.
So I imagine the answer to my next question is related to this in just a little more detail. So when you wake up every day, what has your focus? What are you thinking of to drive this forward? Yeah,
the team, right? So we've been working on this for 10 years. It's an idea that turned into a product that turned, from grants to business contracts to now $800,000 in funding in the last year just with the government contracts to build this technology to essentially democratize and make sure that anybody can be scanned. And we're not only interested in patients that are have severe mental health disorder. I think anybody would want to know whether or not they are going in a direction of more severe mental health disorder, and let's treat it right away. The other part is in clinics, it takes 12 months for somebody to get the right medication and for the doctor to get the right medication to that patient who has depression or PTSD. If I can figure it out earlier and say, look, this medication is working for you, we can shrink that down to weeks, right? So getting people aware of themselves and their mental health and allowing them to be treated faster and with the right drug will improve society, I think, and in the long run will reduce costs in healthcare.
All right, so the Bullpen, as I'm sure you've learned this week, is all about finding someone, helping them, and repeating them. But you're in your KOL interview. You get to make your ask now. It's not your time to help, it's your time to be helped. So how can the community help you achieve these goals?
Awesome. So right now we're running a parallel seed and Series A. That may sound strange, but essentially we're offering to different VCs and investment bankers different modalities to invest in us. We're looking to get 510K approval for our sensor and the wearable vagus nerve recording device within 12 months, then 6 months for the MVPs, and then feasibility data for the pivotal trial. The pivotal trial we expect to finish in around 18 months. That's scoped around $10 million to run around 150 to 200 patients to get our FDA approval. It's a SAMD approval, meaning that we're also looking at the electronic medical record plus our sensor to integrate into a single device that can stratify that mental health severity. So we're looking for investors, strategic partnerships. We've already gained so many different partnerships and connections, and we're excited to talk to drug companies, to device companies, as well as the investor that has a shared vision and can get us in front of those partnerships that are working in a similar space of neurotechnology as well as digital health tools.
All right, so that's really good. So I think what we're hearing is if you can help with the investment rounds, you're looking for that. And so what levels are both your seed and your Series A? What are you looking to achieve?
Yeah, so it's a $2.8 million a seed for 18 months, and then another 18 months for $10 million.
Okay.
And so the round is essentially broken out, and it could be a full Series A of 12.8, right? So we are being approached by some investors for the whole thing. Again, most important to us is the strategic partnerships, the shared vision, and ensuring that we can grow the company in the right direction so that we can have the right type of growth, exit, and or IPO.
So you've heard it here, like inbox him. You see this on LinkedIn. We've got the connection, send an inbox request right now. If you can help either, if you are an investor who is interested in either the seed or Series A, or you know an investor who you could refer them to, hook a brother up.
All right. Thanks so much. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Thank you for joining us at the Bullpen at JPM.